Hey everyone. I'm Susan Thompson, 33, killing it in my marketing career, and until recently, living what I thought was the dream life with my husband, Derek, in our charming suburban home. We had it all, or so I thought. Weekend dinner parties, spontaneous road trips, and my home office, which was my sanctuary. I'd spent months getting it just right, with an ergonomic chair, inspiring artwork on the walls. The perfect space to get lost in my projects. One Saturday morning, I called out to Derek, "Babe, I'm heading out to the farmer's market. Want anything special for dinner?" "Nah, just get whatever looks good," he mumbled, barely looking up from his phone. I shrugged it off, but the distance between us had been growing, and each disengaged reply only made it clear. Still, I pushed it to the back of my mind, focusing instead on an exciting work project that had just landed in my inbox. My chance to really shine. When I got home from the market, I found Derek on the phone, talking in hushed tones. Yeah, I know. We'll figure it out," he muttered, quickly ending the call when he noticed me. "Everything okay?" I asked, eyebrows raised. "Oh, just work stuff." "Nothing important," he replied, brushing it off. I had an urge to press further, but something told me to let it go. Instead, I buried myself in my project plans and strategies, the deadline swallowing any lingering worries. But days went by, and Derek's secretive phone calls didn't stop. I'd overhear bits and pieces like "she doesn't need to know yet," and "we'll deal with Susan later." Red flags waved in my mind, but I ignored them, telling myself I was just stressed. Then came the family barbecue. That's when I met Derek's sister, Megan, for the first time. Trying to make small talk, I asked, "So, Megan, what do you do?" "Oh, I'm between jobs right now," she laughed, a carefree laugh that grated on my nerves. "Exploring my options." Derek's mom chimed in. "Megan's always been a free spirit. Can't tie her down to one place or job for too long." I nodded, but something about Megan's gaze, lingering on our house, left me unsettled. Later that night, I overheard Derek on the phone again. "Don't worry, sis. We'll figure something out. You know I got your back." A knot formed in my stomach. I could feel something was coming, but I had no idea how much my world was about to shatter. The next evening, as I walked through the front door, I froze. There was Derek and Megan, hauling my desk out of my office. "What's going on here?" I demanded, my heart pounding. Derek turned, eyes wide. "Oh, hey, babe. You're home early." "Clearly. What are you doing with my stuff?" Megan smiled. "Surprise, I'm moving in." A punch to the gut would have hurt less. "Moving in? Where exactly?" Derek cleared his throat. "We thought Megan could use your office for now. You know, since she needs a place to stay." "For how long?" I asked, incredulous. "We figured the garage has plenty of space for you to work," he said, as if it were the most logical suggestion in the world. The garage? I felt my face flush. That unfinished, freezing garage. Megan had the nerve to look offended. "It's not that bad. Besides, I really need this room. You understand, right?" I didn't understand. Not one bit. "Derek, can I talk to you privately?" I said, voice barely holding back the anger. "In the kitchen," I hissed. "How could you make this decision without even talking to me?" Derek crossed his arms. "Susan, she's family. She needs our help right now. And I need my office. I have deadlines, projects. I can't work in a garage." His expression hardened. "You'll figure it out. Megan needs this more than you do right now." Standing there, speechless, memories of my childhood surged up, always moving, never having a stable home. I'd worked so hard to create a life, a space that was finally mine, only to have it taken from me. I tried to make the garage work. I really did. Between the cold and the damp, working in the garage became a nightmare. My laptop started glitching from the humidity, and I felt like I was coming down with something from the chill. "Derek, I can't do this," I called out one evening. "My laptop's acting up, and I think I'm getting sick from the cold." He barely glanced up from his phone. "Just wear a sweater. You'll be fine." Meanwhile, Megan was living it up in my office, my sanctuary. One day, I overheard her on the phone, her voice dripping with mock sweetness. "Yeah, it's great here. Free food, nice room. Susan's a bit uptight, but Derek keeps her in line." I saw red. Bursting into the room, I couldn't hold it back. "Keeps me in line? This is my house, Megan. You're a guest here." "Whoa, chill out." No need to be so sensitive, she shot back, unfazed. Before I could respond, Derek rushed in, looking between us with wide eyes. What's going on here? Megan put on her best innocent face. I don't know, Susan just started yelling at me. Seriously? Susan, what's your problem? Derek snapped. Megan's going through a tough time. Can't you be more understanding? I couldn't believe my ears. As I stormed out, a rush of childhood memories hit me. My mom always put everyone else before herself. Always before me. I promised myself I'd never be like that. Yet here I was, pushed aside in my own home. That night, as I lay in bed, I overheard Derek and Megan talking. Don't worry about Susan, Derek was saying. She'll get over it. You can stay as long as you need. I turned over, tears silently streaming down my face. How had it come to this? The stability I'd fought so hard for was slipping away, and the one person I trusted to have my back was the one tearing it all down. As I drifted into an uneasy sleep, one thought echoed in my mind. Something had to change, and if Derek wouldn't stand up for me, then I would have to stand up for myself. I couldn't take it anymore. I needed to talk to someone who'd actually listen. The next morning, I called Jasmine and asked her to meet me for coffee. Girl, you look like hell, Jasmine said as I slumped into the cafe chair. Thanks, I muttered, feeling like I was already defeated. I feel like it too. I spilled everything. Megan taking over my office, the garage, Derek's attitude, everything. Jasmine's eyes widened. Wait, he moved his sister into your office without even asking you. And now you're stuck working in the garage? That's messed up, Liv. I know, I sighed. But he says she needs help and I can't just turn her away. No, stop right there. Jasmine cut me off. What about what you need? I blinked, taken aback. What do you mean? I mean it's your house too, and honestly, you might want to think about whether this relationship is even worth saving. Her words hit hard, but deep down, I knew she had a point. The next day at work, I confided in Tyler during our lunch break. Well, that's rough, he said, shaking his head. No offense, but your husband sounds like a real piece of work. It's not just the office thing, I admitted, biting my lip. He's been weird about money lately too, questioning every purchase I make, but apparently it's fine to support his sister. Tyler leaned in, his expression serious. Susan, that's financial control. It's a form of abuse. The word abuse made my stomach churn, but it also opened my eyes. I hadn't seen it for what it really was until now. That evening when I got home, I found Megan in my favorite blouse. Oh hey Susan, hope you don't mind. I borrowed this. It looks better on me anyway, she smirked. I froze. On a coffee table, my makeup was scattered across the surface. Are those my cosmetics? I demanded. Yeah, I ran out. No big deal. It was the last straw. Actually, it is a big deal. That stuff's expensive, and you didn't ask. Megan's face crumpled. I can't believe you're being so mean. I thought we were family. And then, right on cue, Derek walked in. What's going on? Megan's just yelling at me for borrowing some things, Megan sniffled, playing the victim. Derek turned to me, his face hard. Seriously? You're making her cry over clothes and makeup. That's not the point. I shouted, frustration rising. No, you listen, Derek cut me off. Megan's family. If she needs something, she can use it. End of discussion. As they stormed off, leaving me standing there, I felt more alone than ever. Over the next few weeks, I threw myself into work. I stayed late at the office, volunteered for extra projects, anything to avoid going home. During those long hours at work, a plan started forming. I opened a separate bank account and quietly started setting money aside. I researched apartments in the city, closer to work, and even reached out to a divorce lawyer to explore my options. One night, as I sat in the cold garage trying to finish a report, I overheard Derek and Megan laughing in the kitchen. They were planning a weekend trip, just the two of them. Don't worry about Susan, Derek said dismissively. She's so busy with work she probably won't even notice we're gone. In that moment, something inside me snapped. I realized I'd been holding on to a marriage that no longer existed. Derek had chosen his sister over me time and again. I deserved better. A partner who respected me, who prioritized our relationship. It was time to choose myself. The day of my big presentation finally arrived. My hands shook as I stood before the executives, but I nailed it. When the room erupted in applause, my boss pulled me aside, saying, "Susan, that was incredible. We're promoting you to senior marketing director." I could barely contain my excitement. That night, I broke the news to Derek. "They're giving me an office downtown. It's required for the new position." He barely looked up from his phone. "That's nice. More space for Megan here, I guess." I bit my tongue, knowing he had no idea what was really coming. Over the next few weeks, I prepared. I signed a lease on a cozy apartment, packed a few boxes at a time when no one was home, and finalized my divorce papers. On moving day, I waited until Derek and Megan left for their weekend trip. Then I sprang into action, loading my car with everything I carefully stashed away. As I placed my wedding ring and a letter explaining everything on the kitchen counter, I felt a mix of sadness and relief. This house, once my dream home, now felt like a prison I was finally escaping. I took one last look around, then walked out the door, closing that chapter of my life behind me. Months passed, and life found a new rhythm. My promotion brought challenges, but I thrived. I made new friends at work, reconnected with old ones, and slowly began to heal. One Friday night, I met up with Jasmine for drinks. "Girl, you look amazing. How's the new place?" she asked, raising her glass. I couldn't help but smile. "It's perfect. All mine. No freeloaders allowed." We laughed, and for the first time in years, I felt truly free. "So," Jasmine said with a mischievous grin, "ready to get back out there? There's this cute guy in my yoga class." I felt a flutter of excitement. You know what? Maybe I am. As we chatted, my phone buzzed with a text from Tyler. "Guess who I just saw at the unemployment office? Derek and Megan." I shook my head, feeling a strange mix of emotions. Karma's a funny thing. Later that night, curled up on my couch with a good book, I reflected on how far I'd come. The scared, insecure woman who once let others walk all over her was gone. In her place was someone stronger, more confident, fiercely protective of her own happiness. There were still tough days and moments of doubt, but looking around at the life I'd built, I knew I'd made the right choice. As for Derek and Megan, they were learning the hard way that actions have consequences. And me? I was too busy embracing my new life to look back.